told you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and do I have a story for you guys? Like, I don't even know what to say at this point. Hold on, just let me take a sip of tea. While I'm taking a sip of tea, how about you guys go get yourself a cup of tea, because you're just not gonna believe the story I have to tell you. Okay, so you ready? All right, hopefully got your tea with a little Baileys in it, because I like to drink oolong tea with a little bit of Baileys, so I have to spike my tea for this story. So, I was sexually assaulted, yes, sexually assaulted while I was in Turkey. Mind you, I travel by myself. Like, I travel by myself all the time. Like, I've been to Cuba by myself, I've been to Ghana by myself, and I traveled to Ghana lots of times. And I've been to Uruguay, Chile, I can't remember everywhere else I've been, but I've been to a lot of countries by myself. And this has never, ever, ever happened to me. So, just a side note, if you're traveling to Turkey, and necessarily for a black woman, because it's more of my perspective being a black woman in Turkey, because mind you, I'm the only black person in Turkey. I was looking for them, and I did not see any other black people in Turkey. So if you're traveling by yourself in Turkey, I would advise, and you're a woman, I would advise not to travel by yourself. Take somebody with you. If you cannot take somebody with you, be really, really cautious and be mean. Don't be nice like me, like, because I know I have such a bubbly personality. I don't want to necessarily say be mean. I don't know. Keep your guard up, because they're not to be trusted. When I was in Turkey, I actually met up with my friend. She was actually traveling to Cairo, Egypt, but she had a long layover in Istanbul. And she texted me, she's like, "Are you in Turkey?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here, so let's go out. It's my birthday." I took myself to Turkey on a birthday trip, right? Random place. And I wanted to be somewhere really, really cold because it misses snow, but I wanted to be out the country, so why not Turkey? So we ended up going to this restaurant, and then she's like, "Oh, I heard this was a good restaurant, let's go here." So we went there, and we were eating. The food was okay compared to the first restaurant that I had when I was there. Oh my gosh. When I find the name of it, I link it below, so whenever you're in Turkey, definitely go to this restaurant, because it is superb. Everything you order is delicious. We ended up going to this restaurant, and we were just eating, chit-chatting, and I had ordered this hummus plate. It was like different types of like dips and stuff, and I assumed that it would taste just as good as the first restaurant that I went to, and it did not taste anything like the first restaurant I went to. It was quite disgusting. So I was like, I really don't like this. You can take it back. Like, I know not in every country, just because you don't like it, that they will like comp it off or whatever. I didn't care if I still had to pay for it, even though I didn't eat it, because the food in Turkey is like super, super cheap, so I didn't mind. So after that happened, the manager comes, because our server was the son of the restaurant owner, if that makes sense. Yeah. So his dad came to the table and was like, "Oh, I heard something wasn't good." I'm like, "No, it's okay. It's not that it's not good. I just didn't like the taste of it. I guess the seasonings or whatever. My palate didn't like it." So after that, we were chit-chatting, and then he heard me and my friend saying that, "Oh, it's my birthday. That's why we're here." And then he's like, "Oh, it's your birthday. We should go out for drinks or something." Mind you, the restaurant owner was sitting down next to us, and he also had a friend himself. So both of them were restaurant owners. So they're like, "Oh, well, I have another restaurant down the street." They had all these restaurants. They had like 6, 7 restaurants or whatever. I'm just like, "Oh, okay, cool." I think they were trying to impress us, but I'm just like, "All right, yeah, cool for you guys," you know? So he was like, "Oh, we should all go out for drinks." At first I was hesitant, because I was just like, why do I want to go out with drinks with us? Like, we're some random ass people. Oh, mind you, my best friend, my friend, is also black as well, and she's from France, so she's French. And I was like, why? Because he asked us a few times. At first we were like, "Oh, we'll let you know," but he was very adamant to go out with us, and we were looking at each other like, why does he want to go out with us so bad? You know what I mean? So I told her, I was like, "Yo, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, I'm down." So we ended up going to one of their restaurants, and we just decided to meet up with them, because we're like, "Yeah, whatever, what's the worst that could happen," right? So we were kind of lost, and we didn't know like exactly which direction to go. So his son was nice enough to walk us to the next restaurant because his dad and his friend had already left already. So we're like, hey, can you show us the way to the restaurant? So he ends up walking us down to the restaurant, and we ended up basically meeting him there. We got there before them, but they basically met us there. So we had our drinks and stuff already. So I sit down. No, I'm already sitting down. So as I'm sitting down, the restaurant manager and his friend comes and sit down next to us because now we're at their other location, the other restaurant, because this restaurant actually has liquor and drinks. The first restaurant that we were at, they didn't have any liquor or drinks or anything like that. So that's why we went to a different one. While we were, drinking, chit-chatting, at first it was kind of awkward because we were like, what are we going to talk about? These are older men, and I'm just like, what the heck are we talking about? I was sitting down. Here comes the restaurant manager. He comes, sits down next to me. And we're talking, we're chit-chatting. And then this man had the nerve to start rubbing on my leg. Yes, he starts rubbing on my thigh, okay? And rubbing on my thigh and like leaning into me, and I keep like trying to scooch over. So I'm trying to be polite and give him a hint that I'm not interested in him like that, and I'm not here for that. Because I don't know how the law is in other countries. Here in the US, if something like that happened, we can call the cops, and the cops will, take care of that guy or do whatever that they need to do. In other countries, they're not always like that, especially to women. I know sometimes women's voices, or most of the time, they don't really care for our voice, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I didn't see any police anywhere, so I'm just like trying to play cool, give him a hint, like, hey, am I interested into that? So I said that I needed to go to the bathroom so he could take a hint. And then I go to the bathroom, I come back, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe he gets that. I'm not really into that after I tried to scooch away from him plenty of times because he just kept scooching closer. And I come to sit down, second time. I sit down, and he starts rubbing my leg again. He starts leaning in to me again. And I'm like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Like, every time he started trying to touch my leg, I just said I had to go to the bathroom. And my friend was looking at me like, are you okay? And I texted her, and I was like, yo, this guy's touching my leg. She was like, ew, really? I was like, yeah. And I was like, that's why I keep going to the bathroom so you can take a hint that I'm not really interested. So then, when I came back again, he took a hint. So he stopped rubbing my leg because I kept getting up, and so he finally stopped rubbing my leg, and then he kind of like gave me the cold shoulder and really wasn't talking to me, which I really don't care because you having all these restaurants, I'm not impressed. Okay, congratulations. I'm glad you have booming businesses. Good for you. But that's not enough to impress me for you to try to get any. Okay, and I just wasn't interested in that guy. I hold myself to a high standard. Okay. We ain't got no time to be dealing with these F-boys. All right, no matter what age they are. We don't have time for any of that. So after that, we ended up going to, we finished our drink, then we ended up going to a different restaurant, but the guy who was sitting next to me who kept rubbing my leg, he did not come with us to the next restaurant. It was just his friend that came with us, but his friend was cool. He was kind of on that, but he didn't touch any of us. He just kept saying, oh, you guys should stay another day in Turkey. We'll buy you cake and birthday balloons, and you guys should stay another night. Like, he was trying to get us to like stay the night. We were just like, no, it's okay. So, mind you, they didn't pay for any of our drinks. When they realized that they weren't getting any, they were like, okay, here's a discount, but you have to, here's your own drink, right? So then that day is over. Going into the next day. Both of our flights was the next day. She flew to Cairo, Egypt, and I flew to Cappadocia. So here I am in Cappadocia. I arrived super early in the morning, and I get to my hotel because I had already pre-set up these excursions for myself because I wanted to do ATV, horseback riding, a Turkish bath, and a Turkish dance show. So I had all this set up before I got to my hotel. I get there and they're like, okay, your ATV is scheduled for 3 p.m. I had like 4 hours to chill or sleep and do whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I chill. It's 3 o'clock now. I get up and I go to do my ATV ride. And then I discovered that I'm by myself. Nobody else from my hotel signed up to do ATV, so it was just me and my tour guide. And I'm like, okay, cool, personal tour of all the mountains and the ruins. So I'm like, all right, cool. Mind you, this ATV ride is 2 hours riding around the mountains. And we're in the middle of nowhere. It's literally just me and my tour guide. I thought he was cool at first, but I couldn't believe I just couldn't believe the things that he did to me. The thing about Cappadocia is that their houses are literally made out of rock. So imagine a big, huge boulder, and they carved a house out of it. And this particular house that we went to was 3 stories. So in order to get to the 2nd floor, you literally have to climb on the wall and then reach up and grab the hole in the ceiling and then try to climb through the hole in the ceiling to get to the 2nd floor. So basically, I'm Spider-Man. Okay, I'm Spider-Man out here. And I needed help to get up there because I don't have very much upper body strength. You know, look how scrawny my little arms are. But it's okay, I'm working on it. Instead of him pushing me by the bottom of my foot or like the back of my leg, no. He proceeds to take both of his hands and grab all of my ass and push my ass all the way up there. Like, he didn't just like give me a push, because I've done like Tough Mudders and stuff. Sometimes they do have to like push you up by your glutes or whatever. But he did more than just push me up there. Like, he was grabbing and everything and then try to push me up there. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna pretend like that didn't happen, because I'm gonna go to be optimistic about the situation, because again, there is nobody else around us. It is just me and my tour guide. So I get to the 2nd floor, it looks pretty. The same thing happened when I got to the 3rd floor, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, this guy is just being overly touchy-feely instead of doing the professional way of grabbing my foot or something, grabbing the back of my leg. Like, he did not have to push me up by my ass. I had enough body strength to get more than enough of my body weight up for him to not have to grab me by my butt. Then I get to the 3rd floor, it's really pretty, whatever. So on the way down, I kind of needed a little help. Again, thinking that he would just put his hand out or put his knee up so I can put my foot on his knee. Because I'm short, I'm only 5'4", so I just needed a little ledge for me to put my foot on so I can just place my other foot on the ground. No, instead of him doing that, he grabs my whole body like this, and like I'm sliding down already, like my body is going down, momentum, okay? So he just grabs me like this, and he doesn't even grab me like to hold me like this by my waist. No, he just grabs me like this and let me like kind of slide through his arm so he can touch all of the front part of me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? The weirdest, he's trying to help me down and grab me in the weirdest way that does not make any sense. Like, logically, you don't need to grab me like this when I'm sliding down. You could have gave me your knee or like your foot so I could have something to place my foot on, because it was just a little too high for me to just let go, because I definitely would have probably twisted my ankle or something. So then here it comes. I'm now have to come down from the 2nd floor to get to the 1st floor. Mind you, these are just random holes in the ceiling that I have to slide down from. I get down from the 2nd floor to get to the 1st floor. He is trying to, instead of again give me his hands out or his knee or something so I can just place my foot on something so I can get my other foot down. No, he proceeds to try to he's trying to put his arm in between my legs basically and kind of like coddle me or hold me like this, and I'm just like, no, because he like touched my vagina when I was coming down, because I had my foot up on the wall, so my legs are open. Mind you, it is -1 Celsius in Turkey. It is freezing cold. I am bundled up, so you can't even really see what my figure looks like, but this man was just touching all over me. So I come down, he's trying to put his arm in between my legs, and I'm just like, no. I kind of like moved him with my knee a little bit, like moved him away. I was like, no, it's okay, don't do that, don't do that. And then he understood enough English. Like, all these guys here, because they're workers, they're not like regular guests who are coming from random country. Like, I know you have to know a little bit of English, a little bit, because majority of their customers or probably customers who speak English or another language, I know that he understands at least the basics, the bare minimum. I know he understands what no is. Okay, so I had to say no a few times, and then he finally stopped trying to put his arm in between my legs. So I finally got down and I walked off, and I was like, maybe I'm just being overwhelmed and I'm just like overthinking it. Again, this stuff has never happened to me before, so I just don't, my brain does not know how to process the stuff that's happening to me right now. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna pretend like that just happened to me again. So as I'm walking down, there's snow everywhere. You guys, it's freezing cold there. So there's snow everywhere, and we're walking up a hill, and I slip. Boom, I bust my ass. Mind you, I had dirt all over me already from climbing through the holes in the wall. I bust my butt. I fell, and it was just snow and dirt all over me. I didn't care because I knew I was gonna fall a few more times because it's snow and it's hills and mountains that I'm walking up. But he was so adamant to dust me off, but only to dust me off in one place, which was my glutes. Okay, he was dusting. He wasn't really dusting. He was like slapping my butt, and I'm just like, stop. Like it's fine. Leave it there. Like I didn't care. I was like, leave it there. Stop. And I had to tell him stop so many times. He acted like he didn't understand what I was saying, so I had to kind of like push him off. But then every time I fell, he just kept dusting it. I fell a lot, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, because the shoes that I had on, they didn't have any grip. They were pretty smooth, so I knew I was gonna fall, bust my butt a few times, but I was fine. I told him to leave it there, leave the snow there, the dirt, leave it all there. Like I didn't care because it's probably gonna happen a few more times, and he just didn't. He didn't stop. So I was like, oh, I am so ready to go home. Stranger danger. Mind you, I didn't want to. I know you're probably thinking, well, why didn't you cuss him out or like hit him or whatever? Again, I'm in a foreign country, in the middle of nowhere in these mountains with just me and him. If this man wanted to push me off a cliff, he could have done that and nobody would have ever found my body at the bottom. Okay, so I'm playing it cool. I don't know how the police work there, how the law works there. I don't know how anything works there, so I'm just playing it cool, being nonchalant. Okay, after that, I get back on the ATV, we finished the tour. It was a sunset tour. I walk up to the mountain. You watch the first video, you will see the view of the mountain and everything that I saw. And I was like, oh my gosh, so pretty. Okay, whatever. My tour guide is also my driver. Okay, so I still can't get rid of his butt yet. My tour guide, when we get back to the little store area where all the ATVs are, I sat inside the little store area as he went to cover up all the ATVs and clothes, right? And on my way out of walking out of the store, he slaps my butt as if he was my man. Like he slapped it. I was like, what the heck? At this point, I didn't have no more snow or dirt on me. I've been sitting inside the store for like maybe 10 minutes. It took him, maybe 10, 15 minutes it took him to put everything up. He just slaps my butt like he was my man. And then he's like, wow, you have a nice butt. Well, he really said ASS. And I was just like, okay, I am ready to go home. Like, take me back to my hotel. Thank you very much. Take me back to my hotel. Like, no, you don't do stuff like that. And you guys, when I tell you, my mind was like, okay, we're gonna pretend like none of that happened and we're still gonna try to have a good time, okay? And I was like, I'm not gonna let this ruin my birthday trip as I just been insulted this whole 2 hours of doing my tour. I finally get home and he finally takes me back to my hotel, and I just like got out of the car and I like ran inside, and I was just like, I just was trying to take in everything that happened, but it's like my mind refused to take it in. So we're just like, my mind's like, okay, we're gonna pretend like, again, that didn't happen. The whole time that this stuff has been happening, my mind is like, we're gonna pretend like this isn't happening, right? It's the next morning, and I woke up at 6 a.m. and it's time for my hot air balloon, and bit hit. I was too chicken. I didn't do it. Like, it got high. Like, I knew the hot air balloon got high, but yo, it got too high for me to be going in there. And I'm just like, the only thing that's gonna protect me if anything happens is this basket. And they're up high in the air. Mind you, it's not one of those like you see on TVs, like maybe 2, 3, or 4 people in there. No. This basket was massive. Again, if you watch my last video, you would see how big the basket is. It had 30 plus people in there. And I'm just like, oh no. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So I didn't do it, but I got a lot of footage. I didn't end up doing it because I was like, there's too many people in there for me to feel comfortable about it. Mind you, COVID, okay? And they were all packed in there like sardines, like they were shoulder to shoulder. I was just like, nah, it's okay. So then I just went back, I took a nap, and then I had a Turkish dance show that night. And it was really nice. So if you watch my last video, you would see the Turkish dance show was nice and everything. The food was not all that great, but the dancing and stuff was beautiful. I loved it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Everything, all the talent was amazing. So I get back to my hotel like midnight at this time. Receptionist guy. And he asked me how was my night and everything. And I was like, oh, it was cool or whatever. And then he asked me if I wanted wine. I was like, no, it's okay. I don't want any wine. I was tired and I just did not want to drink any more wine. I drank wine at the dance show that I was at. So he asked me 3 times if I wanted wine. And I was like, no, I don't want any wine. It's okay. Sorry, guys. My dogs are having a disagreement with this toy. So if you hear growling in the background, it's my dogs. He asked me if I wanted some wine, so I was like, no, it's okay, I don't want any wine, but can you bring me some apple tea? So the staff are the only people who can get the apple tea. I can't go and make it myself, because if I could, would have made it myself to avoid him coming to my hotel room. So he brings me my apple tea, and I grab my apple tea, I turn around and place my apple tea down, and then I turn back around to go shut the door, and this man is now in my hotel room. Mind you, never invited him in. I don't even know who this man is. I know that he works there. I've seen him. I've said hi and bye. That's all the conversation I have with him. And he walks in. I'm like, okay, be cool, you know. He ends up asking me if I want to start the fire pit. I had a fire pit in my room. I didn't even know that the thing worked. He was like, do you want me to start the fire pit? And I was like, no, it's okay. I'm getting tired. Then he's like, you sure? I don't mind. So then I was like, you know what? It's okay. Light the fire up, because I can just sit and stay up and work on my computer a little bit editing videos. So he comes back. I'm on the phone with my mom, and I showed my mom that he was starting up my fire or whatever. And she's like, okay, well, I'll let you go shake hands with your friend. I was like, Mom, he's not my friend. He's just a hotel receptionist guy. Like, he's just here to start the fire, and then he's going to leave. So she was like, oh, okay, well, have fun, you know, working on your computer or whatever. So I hang out with my mom, and he finished I saw him take his coat off, but I assumed that he took his coat off so he wouldn't, like, catch on fire because his coat had a lot of feathers on it. So I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. So he starts the fire, all right? He starts the fire. Then he proceeds to sit down next to me on my sofa, and I'm thinking to myself, what is this man doing? I didn't invite him to come sit down, right? So he's talking to me, asking me questions about my day. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just gonna ask me a few questions and then leave. So he's chit-chatting and talking to me, and I'm like, oh, it was cool or whatever. He asked me about the excursions I've been on, and then I was like, yeah, I'm getting tired, I'm getting sleepy, so I'm gonna take a shower, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, do you want to call me after you get out of the shower? I said, no, I'm going to go to sleep. And when I told him that, he did not get up to get out. He did not take a hint. He continues to show me pictures on his phone, because he also used to be a balloon pilot, because they all heard that morning that I did not get on the hot air balloon. Everybody's like, why didn't you take it? Why didn't you do this? I was like, because too high and too many people. So he's showing me, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Again, I slide in there. I'm getting tired. I'm going to take a shower, and then I'm going to go to bed, okay? And then he's acting like he doesn't understand me. And I know that he understands English. Majority of the people in this hotel speak English, and I've seen him speak English from the times that I was in the office talking to a different receptionist person about something else. So he pulls out his phone and he types in his phone and translates it to English. It says, it's okay, I like you. It said, it's okay, I like you. Like, don't be nervous. That's what it said. It's okay, I like you, don't be nervous. So then I replied back, I'm getting sleepy. I'm going to bed. Like, it has nothing to do whether or not if you like me or not. Like, I want you to get out. So he didn't want to take a hint. So then I stood up and I was like, okay, it's time for you to go. And then he was like, what? I was like, you, get out. So I pointed at him, then I pointed at the door. I was like, you, get out. And then he gets up. And then he was like, why? Why do you want me to leave? And I was like, because I didn't invite you in. I want you to get out. I'm sleepy, I'm going to bed. And so I thought he gets up. No, he gets up now. And then he's walking towards the door. But then he turns around. And then he lunges towards me. And then he lunges towards me. And then he's grabbing me like this. And then he's like rubbing up and down my backside. And he's trying to kiss me on the side of my neck and everything. And I'm like, get off of me. I had to use all my strength to push this man off of me. Because this guy was tall. And he was kind of thick. And so I was like, am I going to have to fight this guy? My heart literally dropped. I have never been in this situation before. Because the way that he grabbed me and started rubbing on me and started trying to kiss me, like I had to go like this so he wouldn't kiss my neck or anything. I was like, get out. And I yelled at him. Then he finally got out. And at that point, I was like, that was the last straw for me. Because this is the receptionist guy. And he has a key to all the rooms in the hotel. So I'm thinking this man could come back anytime he wants to because he has a master key. He works here. He's a worker. And I'm like, oh, hell no. It's time for me to go. So I booked my ticket that night to go back to Istanbul. I was done. I still had like 2 more days in Cappadocia, more tours and everything. And I'm really pissed that I couldn't stay and finish the tours because I was just too uncomfortable to stay anymore. So that next morning, I didn't go to sleep. I stayed up all night. I instantly called my sister. I called my friend. I was like, yo, this and this and this happened. They're like, okay, we're going to stay up. They stay on the phone with me and everything. So then I texted my friend. And she was the one who recommended me to the hotel. And I was like, yo, has this ever happened to you before? She was like, no, this has never happened to me before. She was super apologetic, as if it was her establishment. She's like, I'm so sorry. I recommended you there. I can't believe this is happening to you, because she knew the owner. So she texted the owner and told the owner everything that happened. And then the next morning, the owner came and talked to me, and I told him everything that happened. He was super apologetic. He was like, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay for nothing. So all the scourges and everything I didn't have to pay for. Like, he was very nice. And I also told him, I was like, I'm not going to allow this one person to ruin the image that I have of you in your establishment. I was like, because this place is very beautiful, and you are very nice, and all the rest of the staff is really nice as well. It was just this one bad apple. I was like, so, thank you again for everything that you're doing, and also thank you for believing me, because he could not have believed me. He could have said that I was lying because I don't have any proof or video showing that this man was doing this. So, but he believed me, and I respect that. So I was just like, you know, me and you, we're good, but I'm leaving. But I got to go. So I left. I went back to Istanbul, and then I just stayed the night, and then I flew back to America the next day because I was like, it's time for me to go. Honestly, I'm like, everything happens for a reason, because I had left 2 days early, and if I did not have, I cannot talk, what is wrong with me? If I did not leave early, I would have gotten stuck in Turkey, because they had a horrible snowstorm. They shut the airport down for 3 days. Mind you, Istanbul airport is the most busiest airport in the world. That airport is bigger than Atlanta airport, okay? That airport was so massive, like, there's no way you can see that whole airport in one day. No way. So for them to be shut down for 3 days, oh yeah, I would have been stuck out there for weeks, okay? Because the snow just kept coming. And when it snows and it thunders at the same time. I was like, when I saw it happen, I was like, this is not real. I'm in a movie right now. The whole time, I didn't even feel like I was in my body the whole time I was in Turkey, because the crazy stuff that happened to me, and I was like, there's no way that this stuff is actually happening to me right now. Like, I'm just not inside my body. I need to wake up. It's time for me to wake up. Wake up! And then, no, it's reality. And I still haven't really processed it yet. I probably should try to talk to a therapist or something, but I don't know. I just wanted to let you guys know my crazy story that happened to me in Turkey. And, you know, if you're traveling alone, be very guarded, because from my experience, Turkish men are very aggressive. And I don't like that. It does not make me dislike Turkey, because these people who done these things to me do not run Turkey, and they aren't Turkey, you know what I mean? So I still had a good time. I saw a lot of beautiful things. Went to the mosque and everything. Oh, it's a beautiful mosque, beautiful, amazing. Again, if you watch my first video about Turkey, you see all the sightseeing and everything that I've done. But I did meet a friend, and she was so lovely and amazing. She helped me out because I was like 10 Turkish dollars short of getting my COVID test. It was 250 Turkish lira. And I was like, here, you can't take this $20 bill. She didn't want to take any American money, so it could only be in Turkish dollars. And then my credit card wouldn't work over there, and she didn't take American Express. And I'm just like, what the F, man? So she was nice, and I gave her the cash, and then she allowed me to use her card. I tried to give her like a $20 bill, which I know is probably like 50, 60 Turkish lira, I think, but she didn't want to take it. I was like, you sure? Like, I don't mind. Here, girl, take this. Like, thank you. Like, you literally saved my life. So she didn't end up taking it, but she was really sweet. And we're still friends, so I'm definitely going to go back to Turkey, and I'll go visit her. And I was like, you can show me a really amazing side of Turkey. So she's really sweet. I like her. She's cool. And I was like, yes, I finally made a friend in Turkey, because all the other people I've met are like horrible people. So she was nice. But other than that, that's my story. Don't let this story not make you want to go to Turkey. Just keep your guard up and don't be as friendly, because you see my bubbly personality, I'm a friendly person. So just, I guess, stay to yourself. But you know what? It was the workers. It's not like it was a random person on the street. It was the people who were supposed to be the ones protecting you. So, you know, keep your guard up. Just keep your guard up. That's the only advice that I can give you guys. But Turkey is very beautiful. If you don't have to go by yourself, then don't go by yourself in Turkey, because something like that could happen. But I don't know. It's because I stood out. Mind you, I was the only African American person there, or just black person there, period. And I'm pretty sure I stood out like a sore thumb, and they just wanted a piece of my chocolate, but they wasn't getting any of it. But yeah, guys, that's my story. So finally, I'm glad to get that off my chest. So now you guys know, for whenever you guys decide to go to Turkey, that this could possibly happen. But honestly, this could have happened anywhere. It could happen here in America, where I'm staying at right now. So, but just keep your guard up with any and everybody. Yeah, thanks for listening to my crazy story time, and I will catch you guys next time in my next video. Bye.